This is Neural Newscast for Saturday, February 28th, 2026. A joint U.S. and Israeli strike on Tehran has killed Iran's supreme leader, triggering a massive regional escalation.
Here is the news that matters this morning.
Iranian state media has confirmed the death of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The 86-year-old cleric was killed during a joint U.S. and Israeli strike on his compound in Tehran on Saturday. President Donald Trump has announced that major combat operations are underway and will continue throughout the week, with the stated objective of overturning the Iranian government. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed the destruction of the compound, describing the operation as a powerful surprise strike.
The military operation targeted locations across Iran, including Karaj, Isfahan, and Qom. In the south, state media reports that 118 people were killed when a strike hit the Shajaba Tayyiba Girls' School in Minab. Satellite imagery indicates the school sits adjacent to an Iranian military base. President Trump stated on social media that the current administration is working closely with Israel to ensure the Iranian people have the chance to take back their country, marking a definitive end to recent diplomatic efforts.
Iran has responded by launching what the Revolutionary Guard calls the most ferocious offensive in the history of the Islamic Republic. Ballistic missiles and drones have been fired at Israel and 4 Gulf Arab nations that host U.S. military bases: Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. These strikes have rocked densely populated areas, grounded air travel, and impacted global oil shipments. Analysts suggest Iran is now lashing out at neighboring countries, regardless of previous regional allegiances.
In Tehran, state functions have vowed that this crime will turn a new page in the history of the Islamic world. The Supreme National Security Council announced that Iran and its allies are now more determined to fight against global oppressors. While the Iranian government claims President Masoud Pezeshkian is safe after his office was targeted, a near-total internet blackout across Iran has made it difficult to verify the full extent of the domestic impact, as further explosions are reported in nearly every province.
The scale of this escalation has shocked regional diplomats. On Friday, Oman's Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi met with Vice President J.D. Vance in Washington to discuss progress in nuclear negotiations. While al-Busaidi expressed hope for a breakthrough, sources indicate he left the meeting pessimistic about the massive U.S. military buildup in the region. He was reportedly unaware that the strikes were imminent. This marks the second time during the Trump administration that active negotiations with Iran have been derailed by direct military action.
Within the United States, the news has triggered widespread demonstrations. In Los Angeles, members of the Iranian American community gathered to celebrate the news of Khamenei's death, with some calling for the return of Reza Pahlavi to lead a temporary government. Chants of gratitude were directed at both President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Conversely, anti-war protesters in New York's Times Square and near the White House in Washington, D.C., have marched to demand an end to the attacks, expressing frustration with the shift toward active combat.
The regional fallout continues to expand as Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates were reportedly among the nations privately advocating for strikes earlier this year. However, it remains unclear if these allies were fully briefed on the specific intent to target the supreme leader. The Pentagon and Israeli Defense Forces have not yet released a final assessment of the targets hit during the initial waves of the operation.
The shift from diplomacy to major combat operations in a matter of hours has left the international community reeling. With the confirmation that bombing will continue throughout the week, the focus now turns to the stability of the remaining Iranian leadership and the potential for a larger regional conflict involving U.S. bases across the Middle East.
I'm Hannah Whitmore.
This has been Neural Newscast. Thanks for listening. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.
Neural Newscast uses artificial intelligence in content creation, with human editorial review prior to publication. While we strive for factual, unbiased reporting, AI-assisted content may occasionally contain errors. Verify critical information with trusted sources. Learn more at neuralnewscast.com.